This package came from the Orange Connects shipping system, which probably means eBay. This package contains including the shipping charges, contains $67.82 worth of material. I don't think that this seller combines shipping. Now, if I order two of something, I think he combines shipping. But combining shipping across the order, I don't believe he does. And the seller's name on eBay is this. We've seen him before. I ordered this on the 18th of last month. It came on the 1st of this month. And we have 50 pieces of these BAT 41 diodes. They actually look nice for Chinese diodes, if you can do that. These little fellows have been putting together those cheap Chinese kits just for no reason. And a lot of times there's a lot of LEDs involved. This is a little standoff. It's not very high. If we flop it over here, you'll see it's got two holes in it to accept the leads from an LED. And since I have ordered LEDs, I'll show you how they work. Take a standard LED, and what it does is it spaces the LED off the board a uniform distance. That is, if you use one of these on each LED, which just happens to coincide with where the leads are thickened on the LED. Slide it down here a little bit. See what I mean by the leads? These little LED things, 100 pieces of them, well, really 200 pieces of them, cost $4.36 plus shipping. So they're like $2.25 per 100. And the LEDs, while we have them out, supposed to be high intensity blue LEDs, 100 of them for $1.76. You may have never seen one of these. They're very common. In another life, I built control panels, industrial control panels. And industrial control panels in this country generally use oil-tight controls. Now, each manufacturer has his own system. For example, this manufacturer fastens his front on, well, normally you drill this size hole in the front of the control panel. Then the control panel goes in here. Well, really, you would put the gasket on the inside. so that this fit flush with the panel. Tighten it up. In this case, the little selected piece is a push button with an indicator position. And so on the inside of the control panel, we can mount as many, assuming we have the depth, switch connections that are activated by either the upper or lower push buttons or whatever. And those are normally stacked. Now, since we have an indicator light, the first thing that goes in and latches is the indicator light. Then, depending on the manufacturer, a series of switches can be added. Now, I've not worked with a Chinese control manufacturer before. There we go. So on the outside of the panel, we have an actuator. This one happens to be a tandem push button. It could be a switch. And then we have a series of connectors, switching connectors. They are installed and locked somehow. I do like the American system better. This is a neon lamp. This goes in, and it is keyed, hopefully. Well, that's not very good either. So we want the off button to open the normally closed contact, but I can rotate it the wrong way. Now, additional switches can be added in tandem here. The screws are on an angle so that we can stack these up and get longer and longer and longer. So I could have this actuate a number of switches. The last switch in the gang gets a protective terminal here. Now this insulates or directs the screwdriver to this set of terminals. This is not as nice or as heavy duty as a Square D or Allen Bradley, General Electric, Westinghouse. Just feels different. Now, as is normal, these industrial contacts are rated 600 volts, 10 amps, and the Chinese claim that they meet that. This costs about a tenth of what a US oil-tight push-button switch would cost. $2.33. Oh, here we have 4 pieces of those miniature breadboarding. Always good to have some of them around. And I bought 4 of these. for a total cost of $6.12. 10K potentiometers. This WXD3 seems to be a standard series of 10-turn potentiometers. These are 10K. The terminals are here, here, and here, as shown on the label here, here, and here. It's 4 millimeters. I bought 5 of these potentiometers. They were sold by 5 pieces. And they cost a little more than $1, well, $1.20 a piece, say. And the last thing I have is a box and components. I was going to say a box of components. So we do have some parts inside the box. We have a flange mount coaxial connector. We have one unmarked ferrite core. We have an O-ring, but it's not continuous O-ring, which lays in the lid like this. You work it around. And somewhere it has to mate together. So I probably should have started in a straight section. So I ended up in the middle of this piece instead of on a corner. A nicely made box. It has brass inserts. This is a piece of clear heat shrink tubing. Some enameled copper wire. Some male and female banana jacks. Sorted hardware for the jacks and terminals. This combination of devices is a do-it-yourself medium wave ballon. Cost $11 plus delivery. The intention of it is by varying the number of windings, not the number of turns, but the number of windings and their configuration. See, here we have 2 windings. And here we have 3, 3, and 3. In different connections. A 1 to 4, a 1 to 1. Okay. What these are designed to do is connect a wire antenna, either a single wire or a double wire. This one, for example, this is ground. And this is the wire. So if I just had a single wire spanning from a remote elevated fixture, tree, telephone pole, and the other end fastened here, I could transform it into a coaxial connection. Here I could have 2 wires and transform them to a coaxial connector. This is a single wire connection also. A different ratio, 1:4 and a 1:9. Now, I'm not going to use this connector. I'm going to use an F connector rather than this connector because I use cable TV coax. It's lower loss and it's a hell of a lot cheaper. I'm not going to use these. They're intended to be connected to the outside of the box. Like this. I'm going to use stainless steel screws with washers that I can connect my antennas to. I don't want these connectors sitting out in the weather. So I'm going to use the box, the wire, and the ferrite core. I'll put these wherever they need to go, along with this. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a good deal for $10. I guess the last thing we have, and where are they? Here they were. These are on a sort of odd plastic enclosure. Both sides are flat. One's just a bigger flat than the other. On the smaller flat, they are marked with a number. And these are linear Hall effect switches. 10 pieces for 99 cents. So this whole batch of stuff came from this guy. Cost this much, which includes shipping.